Hello and welcome to another installation of TechTalk. The boys are back. It is Friday. We've got another great topic. Mike, give it to us.
Okay, so today, always a good healthy discussion around transporting, machinery, towing behind or putting in generators, what setup guys have got. I'm sure you guys always get asked, but we do get asked quite often, what's the best setup? So obviously that can vary a little bit, but yeah, so a good topic for today, guys.
So trucks, trailers, vans, and horse floats.
Horse floats?
The mix.
We see it all out there. Come on.
What about wheelbarrows?
Totally, man. I'm down.
Hey,
I'm gonna kick off, guys. I'm going to kick off because I never get to kick off. I always hand it over to you guys.
Go for it, Mike. This is your opportunity.
So, I mean, that is something I get asked quite a bit from guys, and a question I in turn ask them and have a sticky beak around their setups when I'm out there and out and about. And it will. One guy will absolutely preach that this is the best setup in the world, and another guy will, for a van and towing along a generator, another guy will say his truck is the way to go, so on and so forth, with a generator built in. I sort of found, I guess it's people's personal choice, but then also there's a lot of other aspects as far as, yeah, mate, but when I'm working in the middle of the city, you know, and my generator tied into a big truck or things like that. So I think it really does depend a lot. I suppose the best thing is that you've got a professional setup that looks great when you're turning up to site, whether it be for the landlord who's got you there to do the job, or whether it be for a builder that you consistently do work for, that you're there, you're looking the part, but obviously you're quick to set up and get into it, and you're quick to finish up. But Milan, that might be something that you're definitely a bit more in tune to from your earlier days.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, it goes down to where you're going to spend your money on and what the biggest return will be from that. So, when I was running an operation, I didn't get, a blinging ute or anything like that. I focused, a lot of my setup was efficiency. So I opted, for example, a cheaper ute. Then, to give you an example, I went with a Triton instead of a Hilux. That was a 20 grand saving that I could then invest into my concrete grinding equipment, which in return is actually going to make me money. Vehicles are a liability, but in saying that, you do need the right type of vehicle to be most efficient. So when you rock up on site, are you constantly walking backwards and forwards between your vehicle and your job site? Like, if you time yourself doing that throughout the day, you'll be surprised how much time you're wasting going between the job site and your vehicle. So it's all about the setup as well, how efficient you are at setting up or establishing sites. So rolling out your big equipment, rolling out a big toolbox, and everything's there. You're done. You don't have to go backwards and forwards to this vehicle. So for me, it's always about efficiency, not just by grinding, but in every aspect. So less strips, the better.
Yeah, nice. I love the guy. I love the guy that chose the really flash ute, and then he's got a generator, and then he actually moves all his equipment around in a trailer. So he goes to one job site and he's got to make 2 trips with his trailer, 2 trips with his ute to go get his generator set up on site, and then to go and actually go back and get his equipment. I agree with you totally. I mean, you've got to get the vehicle that best suits the application and for the work that you plan on doing. Like you mentioned, Mike, a perfectly set up big truck with the generator on board and everything like that, but a lot of your work's downtown, not going to work. But it also means that if that is your setup, you probably are going to be aiming for the work that's more commercial or not downtown. So really, there's so many things to factor in, and it's like Milan says, it's sometimes you just got to look at the inflows and the outflows. What's the best return on investment? That's going to be what guides the decision. Unless the whole purpose of your business is to have a Dodge Ram.
That's it. No,
which it could be, and that's all right.
Exactly, man. It's interesting because, over the years, I've seen contractors pull up in trailers with winches and you know. The other issues, like you have like also like protecting your equipment, like from getting stolen, of course, and things like that. The rain, weather, because like you outlay a lot of money to buy this equipment, but then over time, just people see the benefit of actually getting either a van or like a proper truck. I mean, it really comes down to what you said earlier, Josh, before we started recording. You know, like you see a lot of people spending a lot of money on vehicles or like trucks or whatever it may be, but are they spending enough money on the actual equipment that
moneymaker
generates the money?
Yeah, that's just one thing I always find frustrating. A guy turns up in $100,000 vehicle and wheels out a $15,000 grind. I'm like, how do you feel comfortable buying such an expensive vehicle, but you don't feel comfortable investing money into the unit that's going to, actually create the return? I always find that funny, and that happens more in another country further north, where they have nice big flashy trucks. But anyway, we're not going to talk about those guys.
AUS. Oh, sorry. I mean USA.
Yeah, beautiful big shiny trucks.
You've been around the longest in the industry, right?
Yeah.
So if you're a contractor that has never done or is considering to start concrete grinding and polishing, and you had the money to spend on whatever you want, how would you set yourself up for success? Like, how would you do it now if you would start grinding and polishing with your knowledge?
Look, if I was starting out, I would probably be going just for vehicle-wise, because of the type of work I'd be going for immediately would probably be residential and small commercial, and I may need to tow a generator to site. I would probably be going. Now, you might say that I'm already endorsing this because my name is Van der Veen, but I would probably be going with a van. And I don't receive any endorsements for that, but I'd be kicking off with a van, to be honest with you, because I've got good security, I've got good space, I've got the capacity to tow my power to site, and I've got a really good billboard to wrap and look professional, and market myself while I'm on the street. And that's probably where I would start. It's kind of middle of the road and meets a lot of other markets and sites. So that's probably where I'd be going.
I mean, you talked about there is that saying that first impressions last, and I think it is true. And even putting aside the functionality and that sort of thing, including the functionality, that first impression, that wrapped van or the signed truck and what have you, you mean business. This is what you do. You'd be glad that you got me here to do this. I get that sometimes with going to site with my van. And I'm sure Milan's the same, that I'm not a sales rep turning up in a Holden Commodore with a boot full of catalogues. I've got a nice big van, I've got drawers full of diamonds, everything's for sale. Let's talk. I've got beautiful display inside the van showing the full range of resins and metals and so on. The functionality's there, and the guys are like, when are you bringing the van along? The amount of times that I get, bring this and that, but the rest I'll have a go through the van and it becomes a thing. So yeah, it's absolutely a big deal, I think.
Purpose.
Yeah. Well, unless you're one of those guys who's got like 2 or 3 inches worth of dust in the back of the truck with stuff thrown into it. It's like, hang on, I'm just going to find the 1500s. They're just somewhere in there, Nick.
I want to meet that guy that's got like this much dust on the floor of his Lambo.
So it does
with the horse float. Hang on.
Lambo with a tow ball, right?
Yeah, a Lambo with a horse float. That's kind of like towing a Ferrari, isn't it? Oops.
Oh, you're starting some wars out there.
Oops. I didn't want to upset the Chevy Ford guys before, so I said Ram, and now I'm upsetting the Lambo Ferrari guys.
We're not here to upset any brand loyalties here. We're not here to upset anyone, but I guess what a good mention is planning where you want your business or where you see your business and work backwards from there. So if you're not planning, then you're planning to fail, unfortunately, as the old cliche goes. So yeah, a good point there earlier, Josh, about the planning of the van and what kind of projects you're working on.
Yeah. Great topic, boys. I think it's a really important one, because we could, you can be wasting money or you can start making money straight away. So your choice is yours. Speak to the right people. Contact the people who you see have a great setup. Just ask for good advice, or just call us, and we can try to help you out. Because there's always guys buying and selling and changing and growing, so it's always ever evolving. So it's really good to just make contact with the people who do this kind of stuff.
Been there, done that. Seen it all the time.
I reckon the amount of times I'm on site as well, and they say, "Yeah, come and have a look at this. Come and have a look at this." Over the Christmas break, look how I set up the van and what I put this shelf in. I've got these cupboards set up, and I've got, hey, if you've got a few cool pictures and whatever, feel free to share.
Absolutely.
And if you need assistance with fitting out a van, there's no one better than Josh. So he does a really good job.
It's a real side.
No, do not look at that. Super guys. Thanks for the chat.
Yeah, thank you. Lovely
weekend.
Good stuff, guys.
Have a great weekend and start sketching.
Well done.